For over 10 years, Grammarly has been powered by AI technology that you can trust. With one click, you and your team can brainstorm, rewrite, and reply with personalized suggestions. Go to Grammarly.com/business teams to download for free.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Free Terrible Gamers. I'm your host Colin, here with Ashton again.
Hey guys, how you doing? Episode 53.
Past the year mark.
Yeah. Moving on up. Going by fast.
Yeah, it is. Feels like yesterday still.
Yeah.
Alright, without holding you guys up any further, we had one topic left over from last week, so we're going to go ahead and cover it now. Nintendo Switch Online N64 update for August going into September.
Yeah, so Excitebike 64 will be roaring onto consoles via Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack, which it already has, like Colin says from last week. And then it says started on 30th of August. Those on Nintendo's subscription service will be able to rev it up, grind their way through the extreme sport world that is motocross. This will see players taking part in death-defying stunts, or at the very least attempting them as they zoom around the various tracks and courses. So, yep, Excitebike 64 is on Nintendo Switch Online if you have the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack subscription. So Excitebike 64 I've never played. I did play the original Excitebike on the NES, which I'm sure is very different than the 64 version.
Yeah.
So I guess, it might be worth checking out if you have the expansion pack.
One whole dimension different anyways.
Yeah, that's for sure. Excitebike on the NES wasn't bad, but I'm sure on the 64 it's probably a little more exciting.
Yeah, anytime you throw, like I said, 3D into, especially motor, anything extreme sport wise is better to a sense, just like MX versus ATV. It's technically, 3D games or whatever. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty much the predecessor to those things, even though they wasn't Nintendo, obviously.
Right. Good games, though.
But there was actually more on that, which it was more updates, like they released like patches and stuff, I guess, for the games, which is still. But some of the patches that happened was GoldenEye 007 had texture tiling updates. So apparently, which is funny because the dam was broken, I guess, on the game. So they used darker textures to fix the dam in the game. And then somehow in that patch, they made the audio quality worse comparing to some people on Twitter. Don't know how they managed to do that. They was going for graphics and then they messed up the audio in the mix of it. So apparently the game sounds a little bit different in different parts now opposed to how it did back in the day or even just before the update happened. And the caverns, which is an area in the game, is running at a locked 15 frames per second opposed to the 30 that the Switch can run.
Wow. I bet that drags by compared to the rest of the game.
I'll take that. About at least half.
Yeah. 15 frames is pretty low.
Yeah, it is. Especially even for the Switch.
One for a 64 game.
Yeah, because, well, I say that's probably what it would have ran natively on the N64.
I don't remember what they ran. Might have been.
But regardless, since it's an updated version, it should still be running at 30 frames per
Oh
second.
yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
especially since that's the only the game where you are running 15 frames per second, and the rest of it's running normal.
Right, yeah, it's going to definitely,
Uh,
if you're playing the rest of the game at 30 and you go to that area and you drop down to 15, it's definitely going to be noticeable.
oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you do it simultaneously, you know, how we was talking about before, if you do it simultaneously, go from one to the other, basically. So if you're binge playing that game, now if you're taking breaks in between, it may not be as noticeable. But
Yeah,
yeah, if you're definitely going from level, you're going to notice a different when you're in the caverns right now.
yeah, definitely.
Uh, Pokemon Stadium 2 is now available in the NES, Nintendo Switch Online, and N64 service as well.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Excite Bike 64, and then 1080 snowboarding is also available. So if you have the expansion pass, that's what you can run into.
Yeah.
Broken, yeah, fixed dams and 15 frames per second in the caverns.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll have a patch to fix that here before long.
Yeah, Nintendo's usually pretty good about it, especially in their. I mean, obviously these are all older games, but it's
Right.
part of their newer service, I should say. It's not technically a new service anymore because it's been out for what, a year and a half now.
Yeah.
For expansion.
Yeah, and when it comes to, I mean, obviously these are being emulated by an emulator on the Switch, so I mean, when it comes to emulation, it doesn't take much to break the game. Like you said, they were working on textures and they break the audio and frames on a specific area. That's just how emulators work. You never know, and you guys got to work out the bugs on whatever patch you're working on. It's a never-ending battle with emulators and bugs.
It's funny how just fixing one code can throw off a whole other code completely, though.
Yeah, it is. That has absolutely nothing to do with the audio or the frames in a completely different area.
Yeah, it's like seeing a tree bark at you.
Yeah.
All right, sticking with Nintendo, Super Mario Wonder got a direct just for itself.
Yeah, and got one word for that. Sexy. Not as sexy as Tears of the Kingdom, but it's pretty sexy. But yeah, so the article here says Bowser is back to harass the Flower Kingdom, not the Mushroom Kingdom, the Flower Kingdom. This time he's literally a castle. Game will feature 7 areas. Each world features open areas that let you play levels in any order. Flowers will talk to you. I don't know why. Sometimes they'll give you coins. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, and Toadette. And they all play the exact same as of like other games, like Super Mario World, for example. Luigi and Mario would play different. Luigi would jump higher, but now all the characters play the exact same. So it says, meanwhile, you can also select 4 different colored Yoshis or Nabbit. They won't take damage, but they also can't transform with power ups. Yoshis that also have their trademark ability to eat enemies and spit them out. Other players can ride Yoshi players, including other Yoshis. A variety of new enemies with unique properties will return alongside familiar creatures. Touching wonder flowers will make the world go trippy. Just going through this. The game features 3 distinct new power-ups: Elephant form, Bubble, and Drill power-ups. And it says you can hold a spare power-up like in Super Mario World. They're bringing that back, which I liked. And you could also do that in the new Super Mario Brothers original one, like on the DS. You could do that, and on the 3DS too, I believe. New Super Mario Brothers 2. But it says as you progress through the game, you'll unlock equipable badges, powers including a parachute to slow falls, crouching high jumps, and a vine that works like a grappling hook. Only one badge can be equipped per course, though you can swap out your badge upon losing a life. The badge screens show 24 slots, so at least that many badges exist in the game. Badges can be obtained through special badge courses. You can also buy them from shops. Multiplayer Madness. 4-player co-op returns, which we assumed would happen. Local co-op, that is. Defeated players won't result in a lost life right away. Instead, they'll return into a ghost, which another player can save by jumping to them within a time limit. No lives will be lost if a player is saved. You can connect online, where you'll see other players in real time. The direct calls them live player shadows. This includes both on the overworld and in levels. Live player shadows can save each other in stages if they spot someone as a ghost. Okay, you can emote to other players, Fortnite style, I guess. Players can also play standees, which can also help you if you're a ghost. Let's see, scrolling through. Okay, you can create rooms with friends so you can play together as live player shadows. This unlocks the option to play friend races, which involves your group competing to clear stages, fastest, accomplish set objectives. So that was a lot to take in from the direct. I just scrolled over it some, but I mean, it's definitely different than what we've seen with the 2D Marios in recent years with the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Most of the stuff, is definitely it's welcome to be different. What I don't like is how all of the players play identically. I did like, sometimes if in a level, if you wanted to jump a little higher, you'd always select Luigi. But now that they all play the same, it kind of, you just play the level the same no matter who you are. So sometimes just in a level, even if you didn't just want to jump higher, the way Luigi worked, like you could play different levels different ways depending on what character you are. Now you can have to play them all the same because all the characters play the same.
Yeah, that one it threw me off too with it, but I guess that's the new spin that they're going with the series.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's another weird thing too with Nabbit and Yoshi, how they don't. Well, only damage they can take is they can die from doing the typical jumping in lava or
Right.
falling into a pit.
Right.
So that's the only time they technically die.
Enemies
But
won't
that's
affect them.
yeah. But no, it's just it seems like they're taking all the stuff that they've been doing with the 3D Mario's with 3D World and Odyssey and combining it into a 2D platform game.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of fun. Another thing, they were so close with the online multiplayer. Yes, you can play with other friends, but their characters won't be there. They'll be there, but they'll be the shadows, so they won't be full colored. And it's just they were so close to making it perfect, and they found the way to mess it up.
I mean,
It's
as far
technically
as
the
first party,
same, but
yeah, just say as far as first party title goes, it's really the first time they're playing with that idea. Minus Splatoon, obviously, because
yeah.
it's meant for it. But
Well,
as far as like
Smash, you
main,
can play online together too.
but saying with a Mario title, which I mean, if this game has to crawl for something else in the future to be exactly what you're trying to say and what we all want, I'm fine with that. If it means that then, if this is their trial run to see how the servers are going to work before people can really mess with people, then, it's a good thing because, yet again, we've talked on here before where you can literally, especially in local play, you can pick up your, whoever you're playing with, throw them down cliffs, sacrifice them, and everything else. So, at the end of the day, Nintendo, especially since Nintendo don't really have a way to talk to anybody on their systems, so it's not like you can really technically communicate with other people that you're playing with to work as a team. So for right now, until the new Switch comes out and fixes that issue where you can have online communication between players, then that's whenever I think that they'll bring out the actual online co-op.
Yeah. Technically, you can download the Switch Online app on your phone, and only certain games, support it. But at that point, you could just call them. So I get what you're saying, not being able to talk to them on the system itself, like on an Xbox or PlayStation. I get what you're saying, but
I'm talking about with randoms, not someone that you would know.
oh yeah. Uh, but I mean, you can play with your friends. It's just they found a way to mess it up, and I get what you're saying. This is just the testing block, but still, I mean, if they went that far to where you can play with friends, why not just top it off with what people actually want?
Oh yeah, but like I said, I mean, yes, they've had online experience with their servers and everything else, but at the same time, it's not the first game of its type that's they're testing with it. Yeah, Smash was its own thing, but from the get go, Smash was a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
At the beginning of the NES times, Mario was single player, two player at most game where you could, but you still played at two separate times. You didn't play at the same time in the very first game. So, like I
yeah,
said, as far as statistics, yeah, Smash Brothers and Smash Brothers, and Mario is Mario. So at the end of the day, Mario is more known for being the single thing. And then, you know, in recent years, they've added in the multiplayer feature for, local play. But at the end of the day, they have to, I don't think they have to, but they're making it to where, okay, we're going to test this out. And then who knows, it might be a selling feature of like they may port the game over to Switch 2 and
probably.
then increase the game at that point and be like, oh yeah, now you can play online if you get our next gen console and actually have online co op.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder Deluxe for the Switch 2.
Yeah, with online multiplayer
Yeah,
available.
yeah, maybe, maybe. You
But I
never know.
love how people how that Mario got like can take over Goombas and everything. I'm just like, oh yeah, no, because you never played Odyssey.
He's
That's
already
why
done
you
that.
think that's such a. They've already done it.
Yeah,
Uh, the other thing, how you was mentioning the talking flowers. The flowers are more or less there as, I guess, if you don't know what you're doing in
like
the
a
game, like if
guide.
you're younger, yeah, they're pretty much there as a guide feature. Like they'll be like, oh, if you hop on top of Goombas, you can take them out or whatever.
Like those talking blocks in Yoshi's Island. They were kind of a guide if, you could jump into them.
Yes. And some of them will show like secret realms because I was watching the actual direct itself, and then a
Yeah.
flower was like, "Oh, look over there,"
Yeah, I
and it was
seen
like a
that.
hidden area.
I watched it last night. It was good. I mean, it looks good. And we was talking about last week, Charles Martinet, he is not the voice actor in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The new guy is. What's that?
Yeah, because we was wrong on that, but we just assumed that that would have been his
Right.
last role. But
Yeah.
no, he
Right.
before it definitely.
Yep. So, I mean, I
And
guess
then
that's
I was,
why he does kind of sound a little different. If you listen to the
yeah,
direct, you can kind of hear it if you pay attention.
yeah. I didn't really pay attention that much to it. It was after direct, and I just happened to be scrolling through another gaming forum page, and they was like, "Oh yeah, he's not the voice actor on this game." I was like, I didn't even notice. Like, I
I
didn't
mean,
pay that
that's a
close
good
attention
thing
to it.
that you didn't notice. I mean, it's not going to
Oh,
change a lot.
oh yeah. But I love how people's main concern was Elephant Mario riding Yoshi. Poor little thing.
Yeah. I don't know. That power up's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, the whole entire setup of the game is, I
It's
guess,
different.
technically weird. Like it just makes it seem like that it's like a Link's Awakening, but with Mario involved in it already and not doing anything with another game.
It's like Mario's on one big trip. He's on LSD or something, and it's alternate dimension that way.
The mushrooms are finally kicking in the right way.
Yeah, he's on shrooms.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's definitely a different take. I think I'm going to get it just
Oh yeah,
because how it is, everything else. But it's just, I don't know. And it's another weird thing is how the Wonder Flowers can turn the toad houses into prisons.
yeah. And another thing I didn't mention is before in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, you went from course to course to course. Here you can actually walk around the course if you're stuck on it. You can go around it and go to the next one. That's something that's pretty
Didn't,
cool, that they added in.
didn't they technically do that on Super Mario Bros. 3, though? Like the original one on NES?
Uh,
You could somewhat do it, like
to
it
an
wasn't like an open
extent,
world type
yeah.
situation.
I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes there's alternate paths, but I guess this time like you can just go completely around it and skip a couple if you want. The way they were talking. But yeah, it's kind
And
of
then
kind of touched on, it's general idea in Super Mario Brothers 3.
And then the badge that you was talking about, I think I seen the way that you unlock those, and the way it seemed like to me on the direct was it was kind of set up like those uh trials in Smash, like especially in Smash Ultimate, where you could go through and do those trials to get those
The
unlocks,
spirits or whatever.
the spirit things. That kind of seems like that's what the badges are going to be doing for the most part. Like you can unlock some just by being a level a certain way, but the other ones, especially in the direct, made it seem like there was going to be like those trials type of situation. That's how you unlock those badges.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, and I'll definitely pick it up because it's different, but it seems like a really good game, and you can't hardly. I mean, you can, but it's hard to go wrong with a 2D Mario game.
Yeah. I don't know. Still, the weirdest 2D Mario game to me is actually the Mario Bros. 2, the new Mario Bros. 2 for the. It was the. It was on the DS, wasn't it? Or 3DS,
3DS,
I believe so.
the one where you collect
Where you collect,
all bunch of
yeah,
coins.
coins. Yeah, that's like to me is like the weirdest one because I'm just like the coins should be like a revenue, not a constant one up source. Like
Yeah.
you should you should not hit 100 coins that quickly
Oh,
ever in a
you
game.
definitely do in that game. I like that game though. I mean, the weirdest ones definitely to me is Super Mario Brothers 2 because it wasn't actually a Mario game originally. Japan got the true Super Mario Brothers 2 or whatever. But
Yeah, it was a reskin of I think Doki Doki
yeah,
Havoc is what the.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why it's the
But
weirdest to
yeah,
me is because it actually wasn't a Mario game.
yeah, that's true too. Because the we got it as the Lost Levels, but that was the true sequel
Right.
to
I thought it would be too
Super
hard
Mario.
for us.
Which you're not wrong. It is a hard game.
Oh yeah, I played it, but it's not too hard.
No, it's the same typical classic Nintendo hard.
Yeah.
Ain't no harder than a Zelda game
No.
at that time frame.
No, especially Zelda 2. That game is ridiculously difficult for no reason.
Oh yeah,
Even the first one's
that's
kind of
very
hard
true.
too, but not as hard as the second one.
Yeah, which I mean, the second one just has that whole entire different concept with the side scrolling and everything else.
Yeah, that's one game I'd like to see them remake and fix it to where it's not a side scroller.
I think they're kind of scared to try it.
Yeah. They
Which
just
I don't know. They really have. I mean, they made pretty much ever. Well, what? I'm trying to think here. I lost my train of thought. So from pretty much Ocarina of Time forward is the only time they made remakes or remasters. Every game, the first 3 games basically they haven't touched. Even Link's Awakening they even touched. So yeah,
That was the
that's the
fourth
only.
one. That's the only one before Ocarina of
Mhm.
Time. I'm surprised,
Okay, I thought there
honestly.
was a gap.
I'm surprised they haven't remade A Link to the Past because some people argue to this day that that's the best Zelda ever made. So, I mean, yeah, they came out with the
I mean, they
direct sequel with A Link Between Worlds, but and reused maps
yeah,
some
but
on that.
still going from a console to a handheld though is not really. I mean, yeah, it's part of the timeline. It's part of the series or whatever direct sequel. But to me, it's just pretty much a slap in the face though because you went from having a console to having a portable.
Yeah,
And they technically remade Wink's Awakening twice.
yeah, DX and then the 2019 version.
Mhm. But yeah, it's time for the first three to get some love.
Oh yeah, definitely. But maybe on the Switch too. I don't see
Hopefully
Zelda
so.
2 ever getting because they don't even acknowledge that they even made that game most of the time. I think they're ashamed about it.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if they was to even update it to where it was a top down, which they could easily do,
Mm-hmm.
and change it around just in that aspect, it would be that much more appeasable to the
Yeah,
audience in general.
I'd love to play it. I mean, honestly, I can't play that game. I've never beat it because Zelda to me is not a side scroller. If I'm gonna play a side scroller, it's gonna be like Metroid, 2D Metroid or Mario or something, not Zelda.
Yeah, which I think that's what they was basing it off on because they was like, okay, Mario was super successful, which yeah, the first Zelda was successful, but it still wasn't Mario successful, and
Right.
then Metroid at the time was successful, so they was like, okay, everybody likes side scrollers, and then
Yeah, but everybody liked
they
the
figured out real.
open world part of Zelda, the first one too. So I mean,
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, the second one was open world. It was just an open world platformer.
yeah, I mean the overworld was top down open world, but once you got into an area, it was side scroller.
Yeah,
But they learned, that's not what the people wanted. So
definitely not, since they haven't even remotely came close to it again.
no, I mean they'll release it on like Nintendo Switch Online, or they released it on like the Game and Watch and stuff, but they're not going to. They haven't, remade it or even done anything to enhance it at all.
No. All right. Speaking with technical emulator, since all of it is emulated on the Nintendo Switch Online, rumors of Sony making their own PS2 emulator for the PS4 and PS5 consoles.
Okay, so it says the Japanese giant did build a PS2 emulator for the PS4, which resulted in the release of a few dozen retro titles like Twisted Metal Black and Jack and Daxter, the precursor Legacy, but it was roundly criticized due to its buggy performance and general lack of features, and Sony eventually stopped releasing new games for it. Popular PlayStation YouTuber Mystic claims to have it on good authority a new emulator is on the way to PS5 and PS4, although he stopped short of sharing any specific details. Considering how much work Sony has put into its aforementioned PS1 and PSP emulators, which now include support for multiple regions as well, various other quality of life features like save states and rewinds, it does appear the Japanese giant is serious about bringing back content from its archives. And it makes sense for the PS2 to be the platform holder's next target. There are a ton of PS2 games that people love to play to this day. I mean, it's the best selling console of all time. I mean, it went on forever. I mean, they stopped selling it way past the PS3's launch. So there's quite a few games made for it, and a lot of them are really good. So, of course, it'd be a smart idea to add the PS2 emulator to the PS4, PS5, put it behind your PS Plus paywall, and there you go. I mean, make some more money because people are going to pay to play PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it'd be smart on Sony's part to keep it up and keep it running and then do it behind that paywall because that will get more people to come through and that would be a good rival to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion.
Yeah. Still not even close to Game Pass, though.
Nah, definitely not. Nintendo's not even close.
No.
Pass.
No. I'd say it's better
Or at
than
least Game
PS
Pass.
Plus, but
Yeah. Yeah, you got Microsoft on that aspect, and you got Nintendo, and you got Sony down there at the bottom.
yeah. I mean, Sony's just worried about taking money. They're not really too worried about giving you good content.
Yeah. You gotta go way back to the past just to get you something decent.
Yep. I guess until Spider-Man 2 launches next month. But we don't know if it's good or not either.
No, we'll find out. I'm sure Robin will tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get it. I will say, though, I've been playing God of War on Steam on PC. It's good. Sony did a good job on it, which, they usually did.
The 2018 God of War, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very good. So is The
Right,
Last
I
of Us.
believe. Oh, what is it?
The Last of Us Part 1. It's good, too.
Yeah. Very good game.
Yep.
All right. I believe that is all the time we have for today.
Spent most of it on 2 topics. Most of it on Mario. Got a little sidetracked with Zelda, but that's all right. Everybody likes Zelda.
Will be a podcast of us talking about mentioning Zelda at least once in it.
That's right. Best franchise ever made.
I will agree with that. Remember to follow our Redbubble. Well, buy merch off our Redbubble. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Well, subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch.
Yep. Listen to us live there. Or watch us live.
Yeah. And then wherever you get your podcast, which obviously if you're listening to us on a podcast network, you know where you get us at.
Right? Wherever it's available, we're on there. Wherever, any podcasting platform out there, we're on it. So.
All right. What do you got? Anything else over there, Mashing?
Nope. I think that's it.
All right. Later, guys.
Catch you guys next week.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.